Joshua Neal here, and today we're taking a look at Silvera by Gojira. Remember, if you enjoy the lesson, please click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions you may have. I do my best to get back to all of those. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and as always, grab that full note and tab transcription downstairs so that you can follow along at home. Alright, let's get to it. Before we get started, we'll need to tune our bass. Gojira is tuned in D standard on this one, so you're going to take all of your strings and you're going to lower them a whole step. So from low to high, we're going to have a D, G, C, and F. You actually only need the bottom two strings for this song. So if you're only going to be playing this song, you don't want to retune the whole bass. Just take the E down to a D, the A down to a G, and you'll be good to go. I'm using a pick on this song because that's what Jean-Michel uses. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that completely wrong, and I apologize. Some of this is pretty quick, so playing this with your fingers might be a little difficult, but I wouldn't say impossible. It's up to you. But I'm going to be using a pick. I'm also going to be referring to all of the strings by their usual names. So I'm going to call them E, A, D, and G as opposed to the down-tuned strings, just to keep things simple. So right at the top of the song, we've got what I'm calling riff number 1. This song doesn't have a clear verse-chorus structure, so I'm going to be numbering the riffs rather than trying to call something a verse or a chorus. So right at the top, we've got number 1, and that's going to look like... So right at the beginning there, we're going to be on the first fret of the E string, and we're going to go right to the open string after that. 8th note followed by a dotted quarter. So it's going to be 1 and, or 1 O. Then we've got this quick chromatic line, which is not super difficult. It might take a little while to get it clean, but not too tough. It's going to be the 3rd fret on the E string, 2nd fret, 1st fret, open. And then you're going to do that again. 3, 2, 1, O. And those are all 16th notes there. So it goes 1 E and 2 E and, or rather 3 E and 4 E and, because that's where it is in the measure. So far we've got 1 and 3 E and 4 E and, or 1 O, 3 2 1 O, 3 2 1 O. Next measure, instead of playing 8th note to a dotted quarter, we're going to play 2 solid quarter notes, still on the 1st fret in the open. 1, O. Then we're going to go that chromatic line again. 3, 2, 1, O, 3, 2, 1, O. We're going to go back to the first part, so it's going to be 8th note to a dotted quarter. 1 and. Chromatic run. 3, 2, 1, O, 3, 2, 1, O. Back to the quarters. 1, O. And this time we're going to do this cool little sliding riff. We're going to hit the 1st fret. We're going to slide up to the 6th fret here of the E string. We're going to play that for the rest of the beat. So it's going to be 1, 6, 6, 6. And then we're going to flip that around. 6, 6, 6, 1. Now this part of the riff I feel like is just for effect. So it does not need to be super clean. In fact, it should sound kind of slidey, wonky, messy. That's totally okay. The important thing is to keep picking as you do that slide. So putting that whole riff number 1 together, because we're going to see it a lot, we'd have 1 O, 3 2 1 O, 3 2 1 O, 1 O, 3 2 1 O, 3 2 1 O, 1 O, 3 2 1 0 3 2 1 0 1 0 1 6 6 6 6 6 6 1. We're going to play that twice, then we're going to go into this big open, really cool riff. I like this one a lot, where the guitars are doing all of these pull-off melodies up top and the bass is just holding down the fort. It's going to look like... So we start on the open E string. We're going to hold that for 2 counts. Then we're going to slide up to the 12th fret. of the same E string. This is a really lazy slide. It actually starts on beat 3 and it doesn't really get where it's going until almost beat 4. It's something you're going to have to listen to. It's not something that can really be notated very, very well. Kind of sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do re-attack for that second note just so that the slide is real solid and loud. You don't necessarily have to, but that's what I'm doing there. So once we've slid up there, 4, we've got these kind of offbeat syncopated hits with the drums. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be the 4th 16th note of beat 1, and then the 2nd 8th note of beat 2. So it would be normally it's going to be 1 and 3, 1 and 3. We don't actually strike the first beat in that first measure. It gets tied from the previous note. 2, 3, 4, and 3. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. Then we're going to do that same figure again, but we are going to attack beat 1. 1, and 3, and 3, 4. This time we're going to hit beat 4, and we're going to slide right down, and we're going to start that over. So all together it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 1, and 3, 4. Start it over. 1, and 3, 4. One more time. This 4th time, it's going to change. We're actually going to join the guitars on several of those melodies. So we're still going to start from a low E, and we're going to slide up to the 12th fret octave. 2, 4. Right here. On that instead of hitting the 12th fret again, instead of going and 3, we're going to hop down to the 5th fret here, and we're going to go 5, 7, 8, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 4. So we got this really nice Spanish Phrygian line. So let's go all the way through riff number 2. And 3, 1 and 3, 4. Here we go. 5, 7, 8, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 4. And that follows that same kind of rhythm, that 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and lines up with the guitar melody. So if you're listening to that, should make it pretty easy. From there we go back into riff number 1. This kind of feels like the first verse, but I don't really want to call it that. You're going to play it the same number of times. You're going to play it twice, and from there we're going to go into riff number 3, which looks like... So kind of like the first riff, we're going to hit the 1st fret on the E string, followed by the open string. That'd be 1, 2, just big quarter notes. And then we've got this repeating figure here on the open E string. 3 E and 4 E. So it's 5 16th notes and then a dotted 8th note just to finish out the beat. Chicka chicka chicka, chicka chicka chicka. You're going to play that twice, that figure. And then you're just going to finish it out with 2 beats of 16th notes. 3 E and a 4 E and a. So we've got 1 open, chicka chicka chicka, chicka chicka chicka, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Open, chicka chicka chicka, chicka chicka chicka, 3 E and a 4 E and a. You're going to play that one more time. And then the last time here, you're going to start the same way. 1, open, and then we're going to have this kind of death metal ground pound kind of thing. The reverse Iron Maiden, as I like to call it, instead of... It's... So that's 1, open, and then 2/16 to an eighth. 3 E and, 4 E and, 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. So that last time would be... And from there we're going to go right back into riff number 2, the big open one. It's almost exactly the same, it just has an extension at the end. So after the 4th time when you've gone... This one. So after you've gone 5, 7, 8, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 4, we've got this little tag at the end. So we're going to be on the 5th fret there, 5th fret of the E string, and we're going to do that 1, and 3. 1, and 3, 4. Then we're going to go up to the 8th fret, almost the same thing. 1, and then we're going to slide up to the octave of that 5th fret. We're going to slide up to the 17th fret, and we're going to hit that 2 quarter notes. 3, 4. Then we're going to quick slide back down because we're going to start over. If you feel like you might not make it from the 17th fret all the way back to the 1st fret, you can play this 17th fret note on the 12th fret of the A string. So you could go 5 on the E, up to 8, catch the 12th fret of the A string there, and that'll make it a little easier to get back. It sounds like he's doing the whole thing on the low E string, so that's why I'm doing it there. But either one will work. They'll both sound essentially the same. So to put that last time together... Oop, I keep doing that. Eight, 17. And we're going to go right back into riff number 1 after that. The only difference this time is we're only going to play it once. From there, we're back into riff number 3. We're doing that one again. It's going to go exactly the same way, so I'm not going to talk through it again. When we get to the end, though, instead of going back into the big open riff, we're going to do these big muted strums, these big ghost notes. I'm going to be doing these as all 4 strings because that's what it sounds like is happening, but if this ends up being too much, you could just play it on the low string or the low 2 strings. So what we're doing here is we're switching over to a triplet feel. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a for the 16th notes, we're going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, or triplet, 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 triplet. Just 2 measures of triplets. If you really want to spice it up, they're implying a 2 feel against the 3. They're doing what's called a hemiola, which is a big fancy music term. If you want to impress your friends and your relatives, don't do that. It won't impress them. When you imply that 2 against 3 feel, it's called a hemiola, and all that means is when you're picking, you're going to emphasize every other pick. So you're going to emphasize the first one, then the second one's going to be normal, then the third one's going to be hard, then the 4th one's going to be soft, then the 5th one is going to be hard, and the 6th one is going to be soft, and then it would start over at that point. So instead of triplet, triplet, it's triplet, 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 just like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from there, we go into the second part of this riff, which is going to start on the 1st fret of the E string, and it's going to look like this. So you're going to hit the 1st fret, do a 1 and, Then you're going to start sliding up. We want to end up on the 10th fret of the E string. When you hit this one, you're going to see, if you're looking at the notation or the tabs, that it's got 2 slashes through the stem, and this means to turn it into an equivalent amount of 16th notes. So if it's a half note, like it is in this case, we need 2 beats worth of 16th notes, which is going to be 8 16th notes total. Music is just fractions, just simple fractions. As you're picking those 8 16th notes, you're going to be sliding back down to the 1st fret. So 1 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And it doesn't really matter where you are when you're picking, as long as you get back to the 1st fret to start it over again. This is, again, kind of an effect riff, just like we had in riff number 1. This is kind of an effect there. You're going to do that 4 times. 1 and. This time, after the 4th time, instead of going back down to the 1st fret, you're going to end up on the 3rd fret, and you're going to play that 4 quarter notes there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to hop up to the 5th fret, and we're going to play 4 beats of 16th notes. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And this lines up right with the drums, so it's and the guitar, so it's not going to be too hard to pick up on that rhythm. So that whole section there, after the triplets, we've got 10, 1, 10, 1, 10, 1, 10, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5. Then we go into the guitar solo here, which is probably the toughest part of the song just because it doesn't quit. It's all constant 16th notes for a good long while. So I'll show you how it's being played on the record, but I'll also give you an out if picking constant 16th notes is too much. You can pick these all as 8th notes. So instead of 4 16th notes, instead of 1 E and a, you would just go 1 and it's going to sound much the same, and it won't be quite as tiring. So moving right into that, this bridge riff here, riff number 5, it looks like. It's going to look like... So we're starting on the 3rd fret of the A string, and we're going 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Then we're going to go up to the 6th fret, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, then a full measure on the 5th fret. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So 3, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4. Now to save space and also to give you something new to learn if you haven't seen it, if you look at the notes after this section, or you look at the tabs after this section, you'll notice again all of the notes have those 2 slashes over them, or through the stem or above the note in the case of the whole note. And that again means to divide this note into an equivalent number of 16th notes. So for the half note, it's going to be 2 groups of 16th notes, 2 groups of 4, and for the whole note, it's going to be 4 groups of 4. All that means is you're going to keep playing the same thing we just talked through. I've just written it a different way to kind of save space. So again, it's 3, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, and you do it again. Going faster now. You play that 3 times, then you're just going to hang out on the 5th fret, and you're going to play 2 measures of 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If the 16th notes are too much and you want to break them down to 8th notes, that whole thing would look like 3, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 3, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 3, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4. Hanging on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Either way you decide to play it, it's going to work out. Moving into the next section, same basic feel. We're still doing these 16th note tremolo picks, but we are changing notes. We're going to do a full measure of the 3rd fret on the E string. Then we're going to move to the 1st fret. Then we're going to go back to the 3rd fret, but only for 2 beats. 1, 2, up to the 5th fret. 3, 4, down to the 1st fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're listening to the guitar part in here, the guitar changes later. The bass changes on beat 3, the guitar changes on beat 4. So in this case, it does not quite line up but the idea is the same. You start over again from 3 for a measure, 1 for a measure. Then this time you're going to hop up to the 5th fret of the A string, and a full 2 measures of that. So putting it together, we've got 3 on the E, 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the A. Then we're going to go back to the original part where we're doing 3 on the A string, 6, 5. Exact same thing. You're going to play it 3 times. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're just going to hang out on that 5th fret for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go back to the big open riff. I'm calling this one 2B because the ending is slightly different. It's still 3 times through that riff that I just played. And 3, 1, and 3, 4. 3 of those. 4th time, 2, 4. You're going to do the moving line with the guitars. Same deal. 5, 7, 8, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 4. Now here, it's that tag again, but it's a slightly different tag. We're actually going to be skipping the 8th fret entirely. So we're on the 5th fret here of the E string, and we're going 1, and 3. Then you're going to start sliding up, because right on beat 1 of the next measure, you want to catch that 17th fret of the E string again. And you're going to do 2 groups of that syncopation that we do. 1, and 3, and. The last one, the drums do a big fill on that boom, boom, boom. So you want to line up right with that. Again, if going up to the 17th fret, you feel like you're not going to make it back down to the 1st fret, which is where we're going to be going, you can play this note on the 12th fret of the A string. 12. But again, it sounds like he's playing it all on 1 string. There's a lot of sliding going on, so I'm pretty sure that that's where he's at. In time again. 3, 4, ba, ba, ba. You're going to go back. This is the first riff again. This is the intro riff. The only slight difference is the ending. But the first time through, it's going to be exactly the same. 1, 0, chromatic. 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0. The 1 to 6 slide. We're going to start over again. 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0. This is where it kind of changes. Well, it doesn't quite change right here, but in my mind, this is where it changes. We're going to do the same chromatic run. 3, 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0. Then we're going to kind of keep it going through the next measure, but we're going to move it around a little bit. So it starts with the 3, 2, 1 that we do before. 3, 2, 1, 0. You're going to move this whole thing up 2 frets. You're going to start on the 5th fret. 5, 4, 3, 0. Then you're going to move it down a fret. So we're going to start on 4. 4, 3, 2, 0. And we're going to finish on 3, 2, 1, 0. And then just a quick 1, 0 to finish it up. So if you think of it as a sequence there, we're going 3, 5, 4, 3, and we finish it out. And this is again kind of an effect riff. This is just to create utter chaos at the end of the song. So putting that whole last riff together, we've got 3, 3, 1, 0, 1, 0, slide. Here we go. 3, 5, 4, 3. And that's it. There it is, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, be sure to click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions you may have, as well as requests for songs you'd like me to do. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. And if you haven't done so, grab that full note and tab transcription downstairs so that you can practice at home. And until next time,